I got two wrong diagnoses. They told me it was fungal infection from medical doctors. Okay, my name is Moshoodats. I'm a graduate of Lagos State University. I studied biochemistry, but I'm into makeup and skincare therapy, so you can call me a beautician. Yeah, and I'm an alopecia too. Okay, when I realized and when I had it, I would say it was different because it started in 2015 March, but I realized I had alopecia in, I think, December. Was it December or January? Like when I got my first diagnosis. So it was different for me. I knew that something was wrong with me in my first bald patch, but I just thought that maybe I mistakenly shaved off that part, or I don't know how it fell off, and we thought it was spiritual too. So that happened, and I went to camp, National Youth Service. So when I came back from camp, from one bald patch, it became two, it became three, and then that was when we started taking it serious. So from there, I got two wrong diagnoses. They told me it was fungal infection from medical doctors. So I was using the wrong treatment, I was taking the wrong drugs for it. But I just knew something was wrong. So I went online and I searched for my symptoms. That was the first time I saw alopecia. For societal perception, I would say it depends. Okay, for family and friends, for me, I would say it's easier. Because I can remember that same 2015 was the first time I posted my picture on social media. So for them, they felt it was something I should hide. For them, they felt it was something that, let's just keep on looking for solution to it. Let's just keep on. But maybe because I have a bit of a medical background, because I studied biochemistry, I just knew that I didn't want to go through that. So I wanted to be as open as I could be. So I kind of came out of my shell, because I can remember I'll be at home, and if we have guests, they're trying to protect you. So they'll be like, how come go inside, somebody's coming, or throw a scarf at you. It was coming from a good place. They just wanted to protect you. But I just needed to not be that person. So I had to fight through it, actually. So I was using the wrong treatment. I was taking the wrong drugs for it. But I just knew something was wrong. So I went online and I searched for my symptoms. That was the first time I saw alopecia. So I told my mom, like, I just saw something. It looks as if this is what is wrong with me. Then I had alopecia areata, which is just partial hair loss. So I was like, she's not sure this is it and all. But I was happy, I was glad, because the extreme form, which is alopecia universalis and alopecia totalis, they said it was rare. Like, it is really rare for it to progress to that stage. So I was happy, like, my hair is going to grow back, so no need to worry. But it got worse. So even after then, that was when I got my second wrong diagnosis. But I just knew it was wrong. I didn't take the drug. So I told my dad that I want a third opinion. So he took me to his workplace then. The doctor they used there. So she was the first person that told me, like, this looks like alopecia, but I am not sure. So I'm going to refer you to Lutz Dermatology Clinic, Yaba. You need to see a dermatologist. So that was where I got my first right diagnosis. So I got there, and that's like a long story on its own. But when I finally saw the doctor, she just told me, like, oh, what you have is alopecia. You're just one of the few unfortunate ones. You're not special. There's nothing extra about you, but it just happens sometimes. That was it. Okay, Firstly, relief that someone could tell me I was right. That yes, I finally know what's wrong with me. And it felt like, okay, I know, so there should be a solution. So I felt relieved, yeah, at first. That was just what I can say. But then later on, when I realized that, because after a series of treatment, I was told I would have to take steroid shots on my scalp. Then I still had partial hair loss. So then I would do that treatment for 6 months. So if there's no progress, we would transition to something else. So, but for me, I think I made the progress faster by cutting off. You know, I started a treatment, and people always tell you like, just cut it off now. When you cut it off, new hair will grow up. So after my first treatment, I just cut it off. So I went back on my second shot, and it had gotten worse, but not that was because hair was coming back. So I got my second shot. But between that and my third appointment, it got really worse because I would sleep and hair would be on my pillow when I wake up in the morning. It was that bad. Anytime I want to wash my hair, because it was really short, I just had bristles like coming out. So I would wash my hair and hair would come off in my hands. So it was really a trying moment for me. So by the time I went back for my third appointment, I was hairless. I was completely hairless. So the doctors that were supposed to give me the shots were like, okay, what am I supposed to do? So he called their head dermatologist and she was like, why, you know, like it's a public clinic, I would say. So it's not the same doctor that will see you every time. So they were a bit confused. They're like, okay, who told you that you're supposed to take this treatment? I told them it was my third time and they were like, okay, what happened? I said, I shaved the hair off. You're not supposed to do that. Now you've gotten to the totalis stage and we cannot actually take that form. We cannot take that route, like that form of treatment for this stage. Okay, what do I do? They said I can't take steroid shots for alopecia totalis, and they would try to get me to see I think a trichologist or something, and they didn't give me another appointment. They said they were going to call me, but they never did till today. So, and that was just it. And but for, let's say, society in general, it has been a bit difficult because it's not every time you're in the mood to enlighten someone. It's not every time someone is okay with seeing you bald. You might be in a new environment and you have a wig on or you have a scarf on and you're just feeling that terrible headache. But just because of the fact that, God, I don't want to answer questions. I'm not even in the mood for any negative energy. So you don't want to show who you are. But with that, I've just come to realize that I just have to do what I have to do, like every time, because if I don't do that, I would always be that girl that wants to hide. So even when I'm not in the mood, I never lie. I never tell people that I just like to cut my hair. No, I tell you it's alopecia. The worst thing, what's alopecia? Saying is Google. Just Google it. You learn more. You learn something new. So I've learned to deal with that by educating people. I would say yes. I try to educate people. When we were coming today, the driver was listening to our conversation, and at the end of the trip, I actually took off my scarf to show him that, yeah, this is alopecia, and just so you have an idea. I didn't even go into details, but I just wanted him to know because, yeah, he has learned something new today. So I think educating has been the way I've been able to deal with societal expectations, because people will expect you to hide. You're the one that will have to tell them that, no, I don't want to. That's just it.
And what does Unbound mean to you?
So Unbound to me means, okay, society has a lot of expectations from us. It's not even about alopecia. As a woman, as a person from your tribe, as an African woman, as a Nigerian woman, there are certain things they expect from you. So being unbound means breaking free of those expectations, of that place you want me to be, of me realizing I have to come into my own. I have to do what I feel it's right for me, whether right or wrong. Let me make my own mistakes. Let me realize this is wrong. You don't have to tell me. So being unbound means being unafraid. No, not I'm breaking barriers. I'm determined. I don't want to be shackled to your expectations. So being unbound means I don't have to do what you think is right. I have to do what I think is right for me. Even as a Muslim woman, I get it a lot like, why are you opening your hair? I tell you what hair. as a Muslim, I'm supposed to cover my hair, right? I'm supposed to cover my hair, not my head. So if I'm showing the world, yeah, I still want to retain my identity as a Muslim woman. I still want to go on the street and somebody will say salam alaikum and I'll be able to respond just because of the way I'm dressed. But at a point where I want to take it off, you can't tell me that I shouldn't do that, because I know the consequences of not doing that. Because in places where I'm not supposed to be free. So imagine a scenario where, let's say, we're having a bridal shower. Muslim women are supposed to uncover inside among their sisters, among females. And we're having a bridal shower for a friend, but they don't know I'm bald. And everybody's taking off their scarves. They're going to take their shower, and I'm still on my undercap. And they're like, Moshoodats, what's wrong with you now? Take it off. Like, I have to break out of that. I have to let people realize that, no, I can't be that woman. So that's just it for me. So in places where I have to be me, I won't let alopecia restrict me from doing that. So my hijab won't be a means to hide. It should just be a means to identify myself as a Muslim woman. So being unbound means I'm just breaking free. I'm living free with alopecia. I'm doing what I want, despite the fact that I have alopecia.
So, what is that one thing that motivates you there?
The one thing that keeps me going, that motivates me heavily, for me, I think, is the realization that, sorry to say, it could be worse. Okay, so alopecia is an autoimmune condition. It causes partial or total hair loss. It just attacks the hair follicles and hair falls off, like. But there are worse autoimmune conditions. Like, if you pick, for me, if you pick all autoimmune conditions, alopecia is like the least of all. Like, it's the one you can actually deal with and be physically fine. There are a lot of worse autoimmune, and I'm thankful to God that I'm not dealing with the rest. There's lupus, there's grave disease, there's a lot of autoimmune condition, and I'm just thankful to God that it's just hair. Yeah, it's not just hair at the same time, but at the same time too, it can just be hair. So it depends on how I define it. So that motivates me that, yeah, it's alopecia I have to deal with, and I thank God I'm doing fine with it. So.
And how have both the HAF and Vinci helped you cope?
Okay. For me, HAF, which is Heroic Alopecia Foundation, we call it HAF sometimes to make it easy. It's like a big part of my story. As in, HAF is actually my story, because I met the founder in 2015. 2015 too was when my hair loss started. So at that time, you know, I would go on social media and I would look for people like me after I'd gotten the right diagnosis, and all I would see were like white, or like, even whenever I see a black person, to be like Black Americans, or I think there was one time I saw one South African, but there was nobody in Nigeria. So at that point, it felt like I was the only one in this country, and it felt like I had a very big issue in my life. Then I was on Instagram one day and I saw a post where I think the lady was trying to do a skit to promote alopecia awareness, and there were a lot of comments underneath, and they were mocking the post. They were saying a lot of stuff, and I just commented and said, no, this is wrong. She has alopecia. It's not wrong. I just defended her, and she buzzed me. And I swear, I didn't even know she was in Nigeria. She buzzed me and said, hey, hello, she's Jasmine, she's this, she is in Nigeria, Kaduna. Like, I felt, that was like, till now, that's like one of the most beautiful moments of my life, because it was the realization that I'm not alone anymore. So that's what Heroic Alopecia Foundation has actually done for me. So with that, I can tell I was the first member of Heroic Alopecia Foundation. She told me she was about to start a foundation. I was like, I would like to join. So, and we started it in 2015 together, and it has been wonderful, really. With it, I've gotten new sisters, I've met new people. I met people that, I tell people that nobody will understand you like an alopecian will. I can tell you my story, you can sympathize, you can try to put yourself in my shoes, but at the end of the day, you would not get me like someone that has gone through what I have. So that's what Av has done for me. It has given me a community, and I've gotten, like, made new friends, made new relationships from it. And Vinci Hair Clinic, what Vinci Hair Clinic has actually done for me is that it has given us hope I would say that, because for Heroic Alopecia Foundation, there was a point we had lots of new members that didn't even know the type of hair loss they have. They didn't even know. People that have dealt with it for like a year, 15 years, 20 years, they do not even know the particular type of hair loss they have. And you know, with Vinci partnership, we can give a lot of people like hope, because just the right diagnosis does, because it did wonders for me. So I know the relief I felt from that. I felt lighter. So Vinci Hair Clinic, with their partnership, we get free consultation for every new member we get that needs it, and they've done a lot for us in that way. And the realization also that for some form of hair loss, you can get hair transplants. For some form of hair loss too, you can get MSP, micro scalp, I think, pigmentation. So yes, I didn't know all these things actually before, but you know, with Vinci partnership, I can actually enlighten people. You can talk to them about it, and there's hope for people that actually want that relief of, oh, they want to look different. You know, it's not that they did not accept who they have, but they just love the idea of, oh, there is an avenue to, like, you know, look different, to be different than who I am. And Vinci has actually given us that, and I'm just grateful for that.
One last question now. If you can speak directly to other people dealing with alopecia, what one piece of advice would you give them?
Okay, so if you're dealing with alopecia, I don't know how long you've been dealing with it. I don't know if it's recent. I don't know even if you do not really know what it is, but you know what it is from what I've said. I want to tell you that you're not alone. There are others, there are thousands of people like you. I don't want to say millions, because I don't know if, but there are thousands of people like you, and you're not alone. And the thing is, hiding will not solve anything. One, it will not help you. It will not help people around you, and it will not even help like community at large. So the best thing for you to do is to accept yourself, and the best way to accept yourself is to embrace and understand that alopecia is not a part of you, and you just have to do what you have to do with or without it. You know who you are, you know who you wanted to be. Why are you letting alopecia restrict you? Yeah, people will talk, people will say different stuff, but you just have to go through it, fight through it. It's a battle every day. I'm still fighting. And alopecia, we say alopecia is a journey. So it's a journey you have to go through. So just go through it, accept yourself, and I tell you that others will.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome.